what I was saying is, like, there are two types of reservation. One is planned and one is your opportunistic cross docking. So in the planned one, there will be some manual efforts needed to cross dock. But in the opportunistic, it is everything is going to happen automatically. You only need to do a one-time setup for opportunistic cross dock, and then every time it finds an opportunity where it can cross dock an incoming supply to an outbound sales order, so it will do that. Then comes the label printing. So
Anshuman,
label
just
printing.
one
Yes, yes,
question.
please.
Like with cross-checking, you are going to go into detail again later, or
I will. I will definitely. We have a plan to show you the setups for cross docking,
okay,
so that you are aware of how it is cross docked. Okay, how the
okay.
setups are done. Hmm.
I have some queries. Okay, I'll limit it to. I mean, keep it for that time. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, sure. Okay, so yeah, coming to the label printing part. So label printing
Okay.
also is an important aspect or feature of Oracle WMS. Okay, and this will be based rule based. So every time you can set labels to get fired automatically when on some of the business transactions, business scenarios, that are business flows that are performed, like receiving, put away, and pick load, pick drop, ship confirm. There are pre like seeded business flows where you can set those up, and once those are transacted, so their label will be fired automatically. So Oracle, once you have done the setup, and in the setup part, we will be like setting up the your label types, and then assigning those label types to business flows. We will be setting up the printers, and once the transaction is performed, a label is going to be fired. So from the Oracle side, it's responsible to push the XML data, and we need to make sure from WMS the data that is coming is correct. So, and the next will be the your third party application, like you are using Loftware or Zebra. So there you have to configure the setups where it can print the labels. And then the storage optimization. So this will be your rule based put away, so that your storage is optimized, and it is a system directed rule based put away. So what is going to happen is we are going to write some of the rules as we discussed earlier, so that your storage is very properly used in the and utilized in the warehouse. So from a high level perspective, this is the overview of inbound logistics. Coming to the reverse logistics, as the name suggests, so you'll have here RMA, then return to vendor, and then refurbishment and recycling. So RMA we have already discussed in detail. So RMA is nothing but return method authorization. Anything coming back to your warehouse from your customer, you need to receive it and make sure that if you want to reuse it, then you'll have to refurbish it or recycle it, and then make it eligible for picking again. And return to vendor is again, like as the name suggests, if you're returning something to the vendor from where it has come, so that is RTV, return to vendor. I hope this is the very basic things, not specific to WMS, I would say. Coming to outbound logistics. Okay. So again, outbound logistics we have discussed, but let's go through it one by one and in detail. So we have a sales order, that is, we have received a sales order, and we want to ship those particular items, as we told, to the customer. So system wise, what is going to happen in the warehouse, and operations wise, what is going to happen in the warehouse, that is what we are going to discuss here. So let us say you have a sales order. So here I just want to discuss your line status of the sales order, at each step what is going to happen. So the whenever the sales order is created or booked, okay, the line status that you can see is released to warehouse. Whenever the sales order is released, the line status will change to released to warehouse. Released to warehouse. That means the allocations for that particular sales order has been done. It has identified some of the stock in your warehouse, and you are it's allocated against that particular sales order. It is only eligible to be transacted against that particular sales order, and it will not be available for any other transaction or any other movement inside your warehouse. Then comes your picking. So once you pick the task, pick the LPN that is allocated, it can be picked and then dropped in your staging area. So the state will be changing to staged pick confirmed. And the next is staging, or sorry, shipping, where you can use the ship confirm button to ship confirm the sales order. So ship confirm is like you can do in the usual process from the shipping transaction form, and it can also be done through MSCA for WMS enabled docs using your quick ship. So quick ship and direct ship are the features that will be present, and you can directly do that from your handle scanners. So this is something from the system point of view. Let's understand from the operations uh, point of view what is happening inside the warehouse, so that we can try to correlate in both the manners. So suppose sales order has been released, and now a picking task is present in your warehouse control board. So let us say your sales order line, you have four lines of sales order, and so you will have four tasks that are present in your warehouse control board. So the warehouse manager, what he will do is he will go to the warehouse control board. He will see that there are four tasks present now, and the status of the task is pending. So what he can do is he will manage it. He will go to manage and then assign those tasks to the order pickers. So once order pickers have these tasks assigned, so what they can do is they will go to their handheld devices and they will navigate to the order picking screen. Okay, and they will start executing the picking task. The picking task will have your details like what is going to be picked, from which locator it is going to be picked, what is the quantity that you are going to pick, okay, and your transfer LPN. So what is happening is, if you see, suppose you have this is your warehouse, it is one of your locators. The locator number, let's say, is K8. Okay, so your order picker has gone to this particular locator with his handheld trolley, and he will pick this particular item on one of the transfer LPNs, and he will transfer on one of the LPNs, which is called a transfer LPN. And now this particular item A is loaded on this particular transfer LPN. Once this is loaded, the next task that is to be performed should be drop task, that is drop LPN. So if there is only, you can like do the setups where you can have the load and drop button at the same time. You can also do setups where you can have the drop button hidden until the last task. So based on the business needs, these setups can be done in WMS. So let us say the drop LPN is present now, and you'll click on drop LPN. So it will directly take you to the drop LPN screen, where based on your setup, you will have to enter your staging subinventory and staging locator and hit enter. Also, there is a field called as drop LPN field. Okay, so if you want all the materials that you are picking for a sales order to be dropped on this particular LPN, then you can enter that. Plus there is also a setup that is called as operation plan consolidation. Okay, so based on this, I will show you where it is set up now. So based on this particular LPN can already be populated, and then you can hit enter, and your picking task will be complete. So this task is now complete. So once this task is complete, the picker's job is now done. So now the shipping team can take it ahead. They can either go to Oracle and do the ship confirm by entering the different details, like they want to do on based on business need. Like some of the businesses will enter way bill number and ship uh, what is that, there is a route also, right? So all those details can be entered on the shipping transaction form. And alternatively, you can use your handheld devices to do a quick ship. So in quick ship is nothing but directly you can scan the delivery number and it will ship it out. The only prerequisite is that the delivery should be staged, and it will you can use your handheld device to ship it out. So this is the overall view of your outbound logistics. So if you see here, there are three different terms. One is consolidation, second is packing, and third is shipping. Okay, so once pick release is done and you are performing this, so consolidation is also very important. So as we discussed here, so while dropping also you can do the consolidation, and you have to do the operation plan setup in Oracle. And there are three types of operation plans. One is locator based consolidation, second one is your LPN based consolidation, and third one is nothing but locator and LPN both based consolidation. So if it is LPN based consolidation, that means all the items that are picked will be dropped into one LPN, so that, and this will be for one sales order, so that everything is consolidated at one and you don't have to worry about shipping it out on a different LPNs. A locator based consolidation is what, suppose you have different staging lanes, so you want to drop on one locator only. So in that case, locator based consolidation will happen. And the next is your LPN and locator based consolidation. So in that, both these things like LPN and locator, both these things will be working parallelly. So these setups are like the basic setups that we need while enabling WMS. Okay, and this will comes under the rule setups. So rule setups is planned to have, we will have a detailed discussion on rules, uh, how to write rules, and how to have, like, what are the different types of rules that can be configured in Oracle WMS. So that is planned definitely tomorrow. Second comes packing. So you have packing workbench also option also. So before shipping, you have option of packing. So packing can be done, and you can enable packing in using WMS. So that option is also here. And third one is shipping, as we discussed. So shipping is nothing but shipping your items, products out, and using different channels. So that will come under your shipping, like ship confirm or quick ship or direct ship. So all these things are possible in Oracle WMS. Outbound
Uh,
yes.
Now, when you talk about transfer LPN, drop LPN, and all those things, that's task based. Is LPN
Mhm.
mandatory?
Yes, LPN is mandatory.
Because when I just have, say, for example, let's talk about one of our businesses where we have tires.
Okay.
Okay, and the customer has come and is asked for 10 tires.
Hmm. Okay.
So I created a sales order. I entered the tire item, entered quantity say 4 instead of 10, let's make it 4. I entered
Hmm.
4, which are serial control items.
Hmm.
And after that, I want to ship this 4 quantity.
Okay.
So in that also, LPN will come into picture.
Ah, yes, definitely. See, what is going to happen is like the transfer LPN field is mandatory. Okay, you'll have to transfer it to some LPN for a WMS enabled log,
Okay.
and then it will be dropped in staging lane where you can ship that LPN out.
So
So it is,
LPN
yeah,
is
LPN.
mandatory then. Okay.
LPN is mandatory. Yes.
So then in that case, we'll have to use some dummy LPN and then do it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Dummy LPN can be used, or you can some
Okay.
pre-generate LPNs can also be there, or you can generate the LPN then and there. So most
Okay.
businesses, what they will do is they will generate the LPN there. That is dummy. They don't have any physical entity like LPN or a container or a pallet. They will just have
Hmm.
a dummy LPN to ship it out.
Hmm.
So the like yeah, beauty of this is like you'll have something to tag it to, right? Like you have four serial numbers, so they are tagged to
Hmm.
one LPN. So whenever you scan that LPN in system, so it will be you will have all the details at one place, where it was
Okay.
shipped, when it was shipped, what did it contain, what was the weight, everything. So that is how it's configured.
Okay.
Yeah. Next, coming to, if you see here, we have cartonization, case picking, tasks, and release rules. Okay. So we have discussed most of them in detail, but let's go through them again. Okay. So let's first go to these release rules. Okay. So here we are many times talking to release to warehouse. Okay. We are going to release the sales order. So I think most of us are aware of the release sales order screen, and we have an option where we can configure the template there. So that is called as release rules, right? And plus you will have the release methodologies also there. That is FIFO, LIFO, and likewise. So suppose if you let us say you have four orgs right now. Okay, so you can have one or two uh, release rules for each of the orgs, and that can also be based on your shipment priority, because sometimes some of the shipments can be high priority or low priority. So based on that, you can release that sales order. You can just at one click, all the parameters will be set. You can just enter the sales order number and ship it, release it. So that is how it makes our life easier in the warehouse. So that is what is release rules. And also uh, then there will be tasks we have discussed a lot right now, and there will be more discussions coming on your questions. So I hope that is clear as of now. Case picking. So case picking is nothing but if you want the entire LPN to be shipped, right? So that is what is case picking. So we have a setup also for that, a specific setup, if when enabled. So the entire LPN, until and unless it contains your full quantity. Let us say you want to ship four quantities of item A and your LPN contains three, so at that time it will reject. So that is how the case picking works. And then come the cartonization. Cartonization is nothing but you can have some of the containers where you can cartonize your LPNs and items. So all these setups are specific lead defined in WMS. We can have go through them one by one.
Just a question on case picking.
Mhm,
Case picking is if a LPN has got four pieces, we want to pick one.
mhm.
Is that case picking?
See, case picking means you have to pick the full case, right? That is what case picking is. So uh, like there are two types of things, right? Case picking and pallet picking. So pallet picking, you can pick a part of the pallet, but in the sorry, I'm going wrong. Sorry, I got confused. In
In
case
that case,
picking, you can, yeah, sorry, I got wrong. So in case picking, you can pick a part, but in pallet picking, you have to ship the entire quantity that is present on the
okay,
pallet. Yeah.
okay.
So yes,
Now,
that is case picking. What you're telling. Yeah.
okay. So we have case which is
Hmm.
like four cases in a pallet. So we want to take one case. So that is case picking.
Yes.
Okay. Now within that case, if you want to pick few pieces, do we have that functionality?
No. You'll have to pick the
No,
entire.
you unpack the case and then pick it.
Yeah, that you can do. You will have to first unpack the LPN, and then you can pick it. Like that you can do.
Okay. Mainly, Rajan, I'm referring to the accessories picking,
Okay.
where we may have say 10 20 bits in one case, and we may have to kind of lose it and then kind of pick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So for this new project, we will have accessories, and this accessories will not go full cases. It will go pieces. So
Yeah.
we are getting into that level. And tomorrow, if there is discussion of further say e-commerce picking kind of thing, then we are going for single piece there.
No, man. Actually, Shreyas, what happens is when we when we receive the shipment, right?
Hmm.
So at we will be storing at the lowest level, which is basically unpacked and stored as each piece. So we will not be storing at the LPN level or at the case level.
Yeah,
So
actually,
everything will be pieces of.
the challenge over there is it can happen that sometimes we may ship in cases also. We
So
may,
that's what. That case shipping will come into picture at the time of packing.
yeah. So if for example, we have a order which is like say 90% is case to be shipped, and 10% is like piece picking. At that time, if we kind of open everything, then we will have it will be double work. So we would want to kind of open only when there is a piece picking requirement. So
But Shreyas, when we are receiving, at that time, we have to inspect all the parts and everything. So that time we have to open the case, right? It cannot happen that I am receiving the case from the supplier and I am just storing it. I have to open it, check it whether parts are okay or not okay, and then only I have to bin it.
this is how we are doing. We are opening
Yes,
the every box,
yes, we are.
checking, and then packing it again.
Yeah.
Yes, Rajiv, please. Rajiv,
Okay. Okay.
yeah,
Oh,
we
sorry,
are
I
doing
was
like that.
mute. Sorry. Yeah, yes. So what we do is we open each and every case, and then at item level we check everything. Then only we do it. Until unless
Actually,
we, if we have one case containing just one item, for example, spark plugs and oil filter, which comes in a huge quantity, which we just count from outside. We don't open each and every case. But if it is mixed, we open each and everything.
but you are checking piece by piece the quantity.
Yeah. Yes, yes. Because each and every part number is scanned and confirmed in the handle terminal to make sure the quantity is matched before
Okay.
billing it.
Okay. So these pieces are checked, and then you are repacking it.
Yes. Then we are repacking it based on customer wise, based on order wise.
For local market, we are not repacking. We are just selling the pieces. But for the bulk market, we are repacking it and then selling it in the
Yeah,
LPs.
exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I'll just note down this point. This we may discuss internally, Rajan, on this. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, sure.
Will.
Okay. So coming next to is storage and facility management. So it's more like your warehousing and how do you manage your inventory, how efficiently using WMS. So for that is the first one you see you will have advanced lot and serial control. So how do you do that? Okay, so let me navigate you to one of the screens. So this is one of your warehouse parameters screen. Okay, so I just wanted to show you the screen right now because it is more interactive now. So whenever you define inventory org, so you need to enter some of the details here. And when you enable WMS, so you need to check this checkbox. And once you this is checked, so your WMS is enabled and it can't be reverted back. And here also you can see WCS enabled, right? So here comes the warehouse control system. So enabling this is also going to enable your WCS. So once this WMS is enabled, so if you see here revision lot serial and LPN, so you have two screens here. Just a minute, okay, so this is the one. Okay, so serial control can be defined here. Okay, so if you see the lot control, serial control, and LPN generating options are present in this particular screen in the warehouse parameters. So the lot control uniqueness. Okay, can there are two things. You want your lot to be unique, and you can set it as none, or you can set it across items. So there are two things, and lot control generation also. So are you using lot or serial? I heard you are using
We have
serial,
both.
right? You
We
have
have
both.
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 Okay. So currently, how is it set up for you? I think it will be set up already, right? Because your WMS enabled.
No, lot control uniqueness we are not using.
Serial and
Okay.
Serial, yes, for
Oh,
vehicle.
serial
is
uniqueness you are using. Yes.
basic
Yes.
level.
Mhm. So serial number generation, like if you see here, it
Items.
is set up as item level, right? So every time a serial control item is there, so you will have one unique serial number for that, for one piece. And the prefix and starting serial number is what we can set up over here. For example, the prefix here is set up as S, and starting serial number is like suppose it's ending in 54. Once this 54 is used, so it will change to 55 likewise. So it's like pretty simple, and it not coming specific to WMS, because in inventory also this is something. The what is specific here is your LPN generating options.
Mhm.
Okay, so LPN generating here, you need to set up the prefix, your starting LPN number, and suffix if you want to give it. Okay, so the total length also you can give. For some warehouses or businesses, they can give 10, 20 likewise, or you can like leave it also, so that it will just consider on its own. For example, the current LPN that will get generated is LPN 54A, but if you give it as 10, so it will have LPN 00000054A, total 10 digits
Yes.
likewise. So here every time you will try to generate an LPN during your transactions while receiving or while doing your LPN pick drop. Okay, so the LPN generation is going to set up from here, and LPN is generated in two ways in WMS. The first one is you can run a concurrent program that is called as generate LPN, and there you can set all the parameters which are like the same here, and you can generate like n number of LPNs in one go. And second one is using your control plus G. So in handle devices also, or in using telnet, you can just press control G, it is going to generate a new LPN. So when do you use that concurrent program? So there can be some business scenarios where you want some LPNs to be pre-generated. Okay, so let us say you have a business where you want all your pallets to be tagged as LPNs. So what you can do is you can generate, like, let us say 5,000 LPNs, and you can print their labels and paste it on your pallets. And while you're receiving, you can just scan that LPN because it's already generated. So it's not an issue. It will be already present in the system in the defined but not used status. So we will come to the status of LPN also right now, but in that way you can use it. So hope it is clear for you now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's coming to the LPN part. Let's discuss the LPNs now. Okay. So this is what is LPN. Okay. So LPNs is nothing but if you have a container, you can you can mark it as LPN, that is license plate number, for a group of items, and you are giving it a unique identity. So anything in the warehouse can be marked as an LPN. Okay. And LPNs can be nested also one on one. Okay, like if you see in this picture, LPN 4 has two LPNs, LPN 1 and LPN 3 going in, and LPN 2 has another item A in that. So this is what nesting of LPNs is also supported by WMS. For example, you have one LPN over another LPN over another LPN likewise. So this is what I just told you now. LPN number is unique across organization. You will have only one unique number that can be two for same number, and it can be manually generated or automatically generated through a concurrent request, or it can also be generated through Control plus G. It is defined at organization level that I just showed you in the org parameters, and can be a manufacturer code assigned by UCC. So that is what a LPN generation setup. Then comes
Sorry,
the LPN.
just on that, Ayushman. So, if the manufacturer is having the code
Mhm.
for the product, like what you showed as an example, LPN4 has got two or three boxes combined,
Okay.
no? So,
Hmm.
if this
Hmm.
is coming from the manufacturer itself,
Hmm.
can we integrate?
No, no, no. So your if like, let us say, I understand what you're saying. So your manufacturer label you want to integrate with your label, right? The same
Rather than
LPN.
generating new label here and sticking,
Hmm.
if we have that consistent flow from the manufacturer, can we use that?
Uh, no, as far as I have done the implementations, I have not seen that. Like, we'll have to generate new LPNs only in Oracle, because Oracle does not consider anything outside the system. So I don't think it can be integrated.
Okay. Even though this information of codes are kind of shared by the manufacturer well in advance, it cannot be embedded and scanned.
Yeah, that is what, like, UCC manufacturer code, right? So I think that can help there. So give me some time. I will check on that.
Yeah, because you understand my point. No, otherwise we'll have to kind of print, label, and stick, and then scan. Rather, can we use this?
I understood your
Rajan,
question.
Rajiv, are we
So yes,
using
yeah,
any
yeah.
anytime or
So yes, no, no, we use it. See, what we do is in all cases, all suppliers gives the LPNs, and we usually get this information through advanced shipment notice through ASN files. We get it, and this
yeah?
data is passed to us. And when we create a shipment, we are taking into consideration all these LPNs. So we use it when all the supplier supplied LPNs in our system, but it comes in through a ASN file, advanced shipment
Okay.
notice information,
Yeah,
and we
and
are
within
using
that LPN, if we have products, different cases, are we
it.
using that information? Uh,
Yeah, yeah. See, you mean to say like when I receive a shipment, so let's say 10 container, within one container I will have 100 cases, each
No, no,
case
no.
having, right? Uh-huh.
One case has got, say, 10 line items, and
Yeah.
that 10 line items have got manufacturer code or barcode in that. Are we
Yeah.
scanning that barcode or are we creating our
No, no,
barcode?
we don't create our own. What we do is, to, as I said, in one container we'll have 100 cases. Now, once you start doing the sorting, we take each and every LPN, and then our ASN contains all the line details. So we use the supplier provided information only. We don't create anything from our end.
We don't create any. Okay.
No, we don't
Yeah.
create
And
anything.
if we are having that solution, then fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. And to answer your question, yeah, like Rajesh said, I think for EKG parts, we are not printing barcode anywhere. We're using suppliers supplied barcodes only everywhere, right from LPN till item code.
Yeah. This is good actually. Okay. Thank you.
And for the outbound area, we create all our own. And the moment the sorting and other process, we are doing our creating our own LPS.
Yes. For
Inbound,
outbound, yes. Yeah, we
yeah,
need. We
inbound also what we do is when we receive till certain sorting is done, later on we start creating our own LPNs because we may
Yes.
have different policies where we use LPNs. Those
Yeah.
are all we turn created. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. So thank you, Ashwin.
Yeah. Okay. So LPN, every LPN that is present in our system will have a different context. Okay. Hope I am audible, right?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Thank you. So, like as I said, suppose we are generating some of the LPNs and that have not been used as of now. So they will reside as the status is defined but not used. Okay. There may be some that are going through RTV, so they can be resides at vendor side. There can be some as pre-pack of WIP. There are some that are loaded against a sales order, so loaded for shipment. So this is what I have taken a screenshot of LPN context value. So whenever you will query an LPN number in your SQL, okay, and using your WMS license plates table, so you will find some LPN context value against that. So most of them are we are aware of that. Whenever you have received one of the LPNs and it is already put away and sitting inside your warehouse, so the context is one, okay, that is resides in inventory. It is four, okay, four when it's like staged and then ship confirmed. So once it's ship confirmed, so it will show issued out of stores, and the LPN context value will be 4. Whenever it's you have pre-generated it, okay, but not yet used, so it's pre-generated. So next, some of the LPNs when they are shipped from one uh, uh, internal shipment for internal shipment transfer, so they will say resides in transit. Most of them are important to us and we want to know. So there is one. So most of the time in WMS, there is one thing that comes for troubleshooting is that some LPN will be showing as packing context, and the user might not be aware what needs to be done in this case. Okay, so whenever there is a support or something, so what the consultants are going to do is they will check the LPN context against that, and it whenever shows the context as 8 or packing context, so what happens is that this is a temporary context value that Oracle defines against an LPN, and this happens while order picking whenever user has picked something but not yet dropped, it is about to be dropped. So sometimes user session might have been terminated or due to some other issues they have not been able to drop that. So Oracle system assigns this LPN context value 8 to that, and once it will be eligible for dropping. So once it is dropped, so then it will be like issued against a sales order and then issued out of stores. So just wanted to give you this information because some of the all the LPNs will have different context, and it is mandatory to know all these things here. The LPN's material status. Okay, so there are some transaction types that can be allowed on the LPN. Okay, so the LPN can be put away or load, ship, subunity transfer. So all these things, if you see, organization transfer, planning transfer, alias issue, transfer to regular, all these things are like the allowed transaction types, and you can perform on your LPN. You can split an LPN, you can pack, unpack, all these things can be done. So this is also one of the setups. Subinventory and locator material status. So okay, so whenever we define subinventory, okay, so there is some status, material status, locator material status that needs to be defined as well, and that will be like controlling the allowed transaction from or in that subinventory. For example, if there is no status defined, that means all the transactions are allowed. Okay, and if you want to restrict some transactions from that subinventory, so you can directly go to that particular setup and then disallow the transaction. So for example, some of the subinventories you don't want to be picked, so you can disallow that, and it won't be eligible for picking anymore. I wanted to show you another screen related to subinventory. Okay, so if you see, this is the subinventory and locator setup, and this is done while defining your subinventory screen. Okay, so whenever you define a subinventory, okay, so the status from top, you can give it as this status. You can give as active or nettable, and likewise. So this is nothing different from your inventory org. So here what needs to be like focused upon is whenever you enable WMS, this warehouse tab is going to be highlighted now. This is also going to be enabled. Okay, so once this has got enabled, so this will look like this. Okay, so if you see, the warehouse tab is enabled, and you have different options over here: LPN control, enable cartonization, enable bulk pick, enable opportunistic cycle count. So at least one of the sub-inventories should be LPN control in a WMS org to perform the transactions. And you can also enable cartonization or enable bulk pick against this particular sub-inventory. And again, cycle opportunistic cycle count can be done on a specific sub-inventory also. So all these setups can be done here. Now coming back to our normal PPT discussions. Okay. So here coming to lot and serial attributes we have already discussed. So here the grade set and all. So you like this is the basic of how you are defining the lot and serial. So we have already discussed. I think we can skip to cost groups now. So cost group. Okay. So in the setup also right now, if you have noticed in the sub-inventory setup, you would have seen here a default cross cost group is defined here, right? So cost group can be defined here first on your org parameter level, and then here in the your sub-inventory level. Now, first, why it is cost group and why it is needed? Okay, so let us say I want to explain you that when physical demarcation of your warehouse is done, okay, so it is done like you are creating sub inventories. So that is your physical demarcation. But when you are doing, you want to do the financial demarcation, Okay. So in that case, your cost group assignment will come in picture. So cost group can be assigned to your uh, like to supplier level and sub inventories level. And what is the use? Like you can find exactly what is the value of raw goods inside your warehouse directly. If everything is in one cost group, then it will be like very much hectic to find, right? So that is where it comes into picture.
Anshuman didn't really get that. I mean, can you give an example and explain that?
Yeah,
Supplier
sure,
level.
sure, sure. Just a minute. So let me go back to my Excel sheet. Okay. So if you see here, we had three sub inventories here, right? Let us say light. So we created three sub inventories. Why did we do that? We did that to have our warehouse physically demarcated, right? But if you
Yes.
want the financial demarcation of your warehouse, okay, what is the value of fans total? Okay, so in that case, what we'll do is we will have cost group assignment to this fan sub inventory. Similarly, you can have it at the supplier level and sub inventory level.
You can enable the cost group at lot receiving level, because if I want to receive one lot, okay, I want to
Hmm.
see this lot as with separate cost. If I'm doing any pharmaceutical business, okay,
Yes.
so in that one, whenever I'm receiving the one lot, it will go with the one cost, and second lot it will go with the other cost. So can we track cost
Hmm.
group at receipt level?
Yes. We can track that.
So
So
you will
what
say
what
we can track the cost group at serial level also then.
no no see what is happening, like you told, right? So when you are receiving one lot, it will go with one cost group. Second, it will
Yes.
go with another. But here, from starting to end, it can go at one cost group only.
Starting to end, that's correct.
Yeah, yeah.
But then it will happen for the serial also, Anshuman.
No, serial, it will not happen, right? Because you are like, uh, I'm not really getting what is. Can you explain this
See,
example?
see, I am doing like I'm receiving the 10 vehicles, okay,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
10 vehicles my cost, each price is different,
Mm-hmm.
purchase price. So I want to receive each vehicle with a different cost group, so that I can able to see my details, like at what cost I have received and at what cost I have sold.
Okay, okay, got it. Yeah, yeah. So that is possible, right? That can be done.
How like at what level?
So at the receipt level itself,
So
at the
when
receipt
you are
level.
giving example, that time you include this example also. Better.
Mm-hmm.
Single item with different serial numbers and different lot numbers with different car groups.
I think what Deepak is saying is when we do the practicals, when you take an example and do it, then we will
Mm-hmm.
take the scenario and do it. It's,
Okay. Yeah. So if you see here, okay, the cost group assignment. Okay, so you'll have these things will be like coming under rules section. We will have to write rules so that these things will be taken care of. So inventory cost group and warehouse management cost groups. So what is the difference? So in inventory it will be assigned to sub inventory, but on your WMS it is in on hand balances only. And from beginning to end it is going to remain same in WMS. It is not going to change anytime whenever it is transferred to different sub inventory. But in inventory, every time right? So it is going to change in every sub inventory transaction. So we will discuss that. Yeah. Okay. So coming to this task assignment. Okay. So assignment is like as we discussed some time ago. So every resource should be eligible for some of the tasks. in warehouse, and that will be based on the department and the skills. Okay, so suppose these two users have been given the skill set of hazardous material training, hazardous picking equipment qualified. So they can be they can be assigned only the task for picking or material transfer or management of these hazardous materials. This group of people can be created in a department called as picking, so they can be only responsible for picking because they have the skills as picking qualified. And these can be done in pallet picking or case picking. So based on the department, some of the users will be eligible and they can be assigned those tasks and they will be responsible for completion of the task assigned to them. The setups for these things we will discuss later on. Now, because we are just going over looking at the overview, so just wanted to go on a quick note on each of these things so that we are comfortable in our for our future sessions. So coming to rules and rules engine. Okay, so this is the heart and soul of our WMS, as we all know. So rules are nothing but we can write some of the restrictions and requirements in our for our business scenarios, and Oracle provides us the flexibility to have them in WMS. So we have the specific screen where we can write the picking rule, put away rule, and all those other rules. Okay, and why is this needed? Because this will reduce the need of customization, because if rules are not there, then we will have to go through the customization route. But in rules we can write your own SQL query to have your restrictions, and that will help us for mostly our put away tasks and picking allocations. So what does the rule engine uses? Rule engine will use your material allocations for picking and put away locations, cost groups, label printing, your task type assignments, and operation plans. So we have discussed all of them in detail earlier. If you see the material allocations for picking, okay, so we have a lot of materials, but which of them should be picked based on what picking methodology you want, first in first out or last in first out? What restrictions do you want to place there? Okay, what are your stacking norms? All those things can be used, can be set up in using your rules engine. Similarly, put away. So you can decide the put away locations. You can decide, you can system can check and suggest empty locators. System can do commingling, all those things. We have a lot of seeded rules as well, but we have option of adding our own rules also. Similarly, you can have the cost groups. So these can also be set up. Label printing. Label printing is important because in inventory, as we had a question in first session, that with just inventory and MSCA also we can have the label printed at some of the business scenarios. But for WMS, it makes much more like specific. Like suppose you want a specific type of label to be printed for one of the suppliers. So for that you can write a rule, and everything else will be taken care of. So these things are the advantages of WMS rule engine. And task type assignment, as I told, like suppose we have orders, cycle count. So these are the task types and their assignment can be decided through these rules. And then at last the operation plans, as we discussed earlier. So locator based consolidation, LPN based consolidation, all these things will come under this. Rule setup. How do you set up the rules? So there are three hierarchies, I would say. So number one is you will write a rule first in your rules window. Once this rule is written, you can assign that rule to a strategy. For example, you have like like in this case, let us say we have three types of SKUs here, right? So suppose when fan is coming, you have a separate rule for that. When Wire is coming, you have separate rule for that. When light is coming, you have separate rule for that. Okay. When RMA material is coming, you have separate rule for accept. When RMA is coming, you have separate rule for reject. So what you can do is you can have all these set up in one of the strategies, and then that strategy can be assigned in this workbench. So this is the hierarchy how it is set up. So in the workbench you will have all the strategies. You can see the picking strategy, put away strategy. So you a strategy is a combination of rules, and in the workbench all the strategies are assigned. That is how it is set up here. Then we have some of the sort criteria that we will see tomorrow when we discuss in detail what is the sort criteria. For example, uh, you want to sort some of the do the sorting also, right? So Oracle will provide you that facility directly on the rules screen only. So here in this case, if you see, there are some strawberries that are expiring next week. They're also excellent. These 2 weeks are also excellent. 3 weeks also excellent. So all these things you can set up in sort criteria. Okay. So if you can set up the default rules also. So all the good, average, and excellent, any kind of material is there. So it can be accepted and it can be allocated against a sales order likewise. As I discussed the strategies here, right? So list of rules and different levels. So and then assigning strategies to the workbench. So there are some types of rules that are not assigned against any strategy. They are directly linked to an organization. So your task type, label format, and operation plan selection rules. These three things should not or cannot be assigned against any strategy or any workbench. They can directly be assigned to an organization. Or and there is a rule weight also. Just keep a note of it, because the weight that you will give on the rule, it will consider the weightage of the rule and will pick that rule first. For example, if for one you have given 999 and for other you have given 800, so the higher weightage will be considered first. Similarly, we have the consistency requirement. So all these things, right? So these things we have a separate session for rules tomorrow, because the rules are the most important point. So we will discuss it tomorrow in detail. You have a specific rule simulator also given by Oracle. So if you uh, want to create and debug the picking and put away processes, so rule simulator will help you that. So whenever we have created some of the rule and we want to test it out, so in that case the rule simulator is going to help us in that process. So we can test the rules, strategies, and rule processes, all of them. Next come the label printing. So this is a value-added service provided by our Oracle in WMS. So we have here we have shown some types of labels like the customer labeling, okay, and receipt labeling and manufacturing. So I'll just go for one example. So suppose while receiving, you have a requirement that whenever you receive an item, a label should get printed that you will paste on your container or on the box. So that can be set up using your label printing. And as I gave one of the examples earlier, like using the rules workbench rules engine, you can have a specific to one supplier also, like which label you want to get printed when. So most of the customizations can be taken can be avoided, and we can also add our own fields in the labels even though it's not seeded. So
So
that
Anshuman,
feature is,
hello,
yeah.
Anshuman,
Yes.
for this label printing, see,
Mhm.
can we set the parameters and everything, the specific formats, everything we can set up, or we have to define our own XML?
No, you don't have to define your own XML. You have to just set up your label format, okay, and then assign that label format to business type and define your printer, and whenever you trigger that business flow, so your XML will be generated. That XML
Can
you
you
can
show the
push.
example? One of the example for in the workshop.
Okay, so let me give you one example. Okay,
No, no,
so
not now.
Not now,
We'll
in the
practice.
workshop.
When you're doing the practicals, we can take this example and then show it to us.
okay, okay, sure, sure. Okay, so what are the label types here? Okay, so we have like the material label type. Okay, serial label type, location label type, web contents. So there are a lot of seeded label types that are defined by Oracle. Okay, so in the label types you will have different fields. Okay, for example, in material label type you will have the item number or like n number of fields. Similarly, in serial number type you will have specific to serial number. Likewise, so you have a lot of them here like LPN contents, LPN summary, shipping contents. So based on your business needs, you can see and check what exactly which label type you want to use, and that can be configured against a business flow.
And we can have barcodes also printed again in the labels, right?
Definitely, definitely, that is the exact point of printing labels.
Yeah.
Because if you want to minimize the effort, barcodes are a must in warehouse, right? So for suppose you identify some of the fields, let us say items, LPNs, okay, lots and serials. So you can have barcodes printed for all
Yeah.
these fields. And let me tell you one more other feature also. So Oracle has one feature whereon you can have a concatenated barcode, right? So you can have your item, lot, serial in one barcode itself, which are separated by some of the fields. Okay, and then if you scan it at one go, it can be populated three or four fields, however you want, on your handle device. So that feature is also there, but you need to do some specific setups and customizations. So that is very much there.
I
But
think we
yeah,
are using for the sub-inventory locator.
oh, okay. Yeah, so that is like I think concatenation you are using.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is like I think Oracle provides us with three seeded concatenations. One is subunity locator, one is PO revision, and there is one more that I'm missing. So these three are seeded. For other fields, we have to do some customizations and all. So most probably in subunity locator, when you scan one barcode, both the subunity locator will be populated, right?
Really populated. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that is very much actually useful also, and it reduces effort.
Yeah.
So here we have defined like what is the use of label format. So it defines the fields that appears on the label. For example, in label format, we define this SN, item description, and UM. Right. So these are the fields, and the data will be coming from the transaction. So whenever you do a transaction, the XML will have this data, which you can push to your third-party software, where this label design will be there, and it can print the label, and you can have a barcode also against each of them if you want. And there is second setup, assigning label type to business flows, that I am speaking again and again. So you can assign a label type. For example, you assign this material label type, okay, this one against some business flow. Let us say you assign this against your it's PO receipt. So whenever you do a PO receipt, this material label type will get triggered, and in that material type you can have selected fields that you want, against which all the details will be populated, and you can design the barcodes. So barcode designing and all are not seeded into Oracle, right? So that I want to make it clear. You will have to use a third-party software to design your barcodes.
Oh, it is not seated within Oracle, is it?
No, no, no. Oracle WMS is only going to push the data through XML.
Ah, understood. Got it.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So this will complete our like today's session. So there are some of the screens which I have taken a screenshot so that we can quickly go through it and you can understand the setups. Okay. So this is one of the setups called as organization parameters. Okay. So here if you see the locator control, this is determined at sub-inventory level. Okay. And if you go to this, the locator control here it's pre-specified. So whenever you have WMS, at least one of them should be determined as sub-inventory level. Okay. And the sub-inventory should be locator controlled. So that is a prerequisite for your enabling WMS and having running it smoothly. And we discussed about this checkbox. Okay, so whenever you check this checkbox WMS enabled, everything is same except uh, these two tabs. The first one is warehouse and second one is warehouse task management. Okay, so the warehouse task management is uh, this one. Okay, this one. So here, if you see, we have several fields over here. Okay, so you can define the pick task type, replenish task type, move order transfer task type, and move order task issue. So all these things can be defined here. If you don't, you can have your own task types defined in the system. You can map it here based as per your business requirements. Then you will have your put away tasks, then regeneration interval minutes. These three are like important. These two, I would say. Okay, so what is regeneration interval minutes? Suppose a put away task is generated right now. Okay, okay. Let's first discuss about this pre-generate after receipt. So whenever this is checked, okay. So during standard receipt, when you have received an item, so system is automatically going to check for empty locators as per your put away rule, and it will be like pre-generating your put away tasks then and there. But if it is not there, until and unless your put away tasks are initiated, it will not generate your put away tasks, put away suggestions. So that is the basic difference. It is a good practice to keep this checked on in a WMS enabled warehouse so that the transactions are more smooth and something is getting automated. The regeneration interval minutes. So put away tasks. Okay, so suppose the put away tasks are going to be performed by one of the users now. Okay, but he keeps it holding for 10 or 15 minutes. Okay, so after 15 minutes, system will again check for the empty locators and then regenerate that put away task. Okay, so this will help in like more accurate put away suggestions. Otherwise, what can happen is like suppose we have been suggested to put away one of the items in one of the locators, and after 15 minutes, the user goes and tries to do a put away, and maybe somebody can move some of the materials there, or something can happen. So at that time, the locator can be filled up. So if this is kept like this, so what will happen is the system is going to again check for the empty locators, and then it will consider for new suggestion. I hope that is clear.
Can this be grouped? Say might be say once every day or something like that.
mm, no, I didn't get you, please come again.
Uh, why I'm saying is that if it is generating like
Mhm.
for every location and all, it has to be kind of continuously uh, kind of replenished during the operation. And if that task is open, then unless the task is closed, that bins are also locked. No?
Yes. No,
Yeah.
bins are not locked. Bins are not locked. Okay. So what is going to happen is somebody can move some of the materials there, like do through a sub-inventory transfer.
If bins are not locked, if someone is moving, exactly, will
Mhm.
that not impact?
Yeah, that is what, right? So that is why this setup is being given here, so that you can system can suggest a new locator in that case.
Yeah, but then the open transaction has to be kind of sorted out, right? That has to be closed, which was triggered first.
Yeah. So
What I'm trying
mm,
to say
mm,
is that in another operation that I've seen, if it is
mhm.
like multiple kind of requests that is getting generated during the operation, then it becomes kind of a challenge. So if the replenishment can be kind of all grouped once a day, so that before operation or might be after operation they are doing it. Is it possible? Might be we are already doing it, or I'm asking something. Raj and Rajiv.
We don't actually wait for any day. Like, see, I have a query on this, but anyway, once you finish. But I think your question is, you want this process to be cumulated and do at the end of the day or start of the day. You
The
don't want to do
start
it
of
at.
the day. Otherwise, if it is in between the operation, then
Mm-hmm.
this normally created a kind of a disturbance. So this is what I'm trying to ask, because unless this replenishment is not closed, if not beginning end, might be somewhere in between during the lunch break or something, whatever. However, when there is no heavy traffic of operations, no, so
Yes, yes.
accordingly the min and max is kind of monitored.
So, Shay, there are a couple of things over here. One is you talk about the min-max spanning replenishment, which happens at the day end.
Hmm.
Okay. And when you talk about the regular stuff like the purchase order shipment, if it's a big shipment load and all, it happens after working hours. They do it probably at
Hmm.
around 5 or something. That is when they load it.
Hmm.
Okay. Now picking, when it comes to sales order picking, it is based on it is basically demand driven. So whenever there's
Hmm.
a sales order that needs to be picked, it is picked. So there's no
Hmm.
schedule per se for that.
We may have scheduled time also for that, no? Because I don't know how it is. There is a timeline, and beyond that timeline, we say, okay, we cannot deliver today, so we keep that picking. And might be in some operations, but this is when we pick. This is when we stage. This is when we load, and whatever comes after that might be in the evening we load, or might be next day we load.
For that you're talking about the internal replenishment, not to the
Yeah, what
customers or
I'm trying
suppliers.
to what I'm trying to say is that this is system with operation, if that can be consolidated also. Mainly, I'm asking this for replenishment, not for picking or.
Ah, okay. Understood. So
We,
replenishment currently, I think we have Rajiv, you have 2 or 3
yeah,
rounds
yeah.
that you do, right? To
Yes, yes.
replenishment the workout.
Right, right. We have again. We don't wait for any end of the day, but we have basically it has to match with our delivery vehicle because we have the clear cutoff time for every vehicle which
Yeah,
goes to multiple routes. So we do this release at a time when it is to match with that branch deliveries,
demand. Okay,
yeah, branch demand. So, but then we don't actually wait for the end of the day. It happens throughout the day.
throughout the day. Okay.
Yeah, throughout the day. Whatever demand is till that time it will pick, and then for the next trip again the demand between that those two interval again it will be picked.
And you're replenishing it to the staging, or
Yeah, it gets once order gets it goes to staging and from there it gets shipped.
okay, so, okay.
But the next time when I run the planning engine, automatically takes into consideration the WIP inventory, whether it is in staging or in transit, everything is
Yeah.
considered before the next run is
Yeah,
taken. So
actually, the replenishment that I was referring to might be not this one. I was referring from higher bins to the pick faces, actually.
shifting, okay, that we are talking about from primary to secondary, something like that, from the reserve
Yeah, yeah,
location to
from
primary location.
because yeah, for to the pick faces,
Uh,
mainly. I was referring to this Rajan for the one that we were discussing. No, if the storage is kept in the showroom, how the replenishment should
Yeah,
work.
yeah. So that would be basically min-max spanning that we're talking about.
Yeah,
So
and
proxy, yeah, that's right. So what, for that also, yeah, yeah, we need to have a schedule, say, which runs every an hour or 2 hours, and whenever it goes below that minimum thing, we need to replenish that. Yeah, this is for the KE part, right?
yeah, yeah, KE part
Yeah,
actually.
yeah.
Okay, okay, clear.
Anshuman, I have one question. See, you talked about this put away for empty locators, no? For a
Hmm. Yeah.
see currently what we do is we have I mean our Deepak has developed very I mean detailed put away rules. But when we any new item comes in, what we currently do is if an item is not assigned to any specific see we have two way. One is that the stock is currently lying in specific locator, or the stock there are certain cases where an item is defaulted to a specific locator. So we have fixed certain locators for a specific item. When a
Okay.
new item comes in, what we do is the put away rule doesn't look for an empty location and identify and bin it. But what we do is we had defaulted a specific locator, let's say some
Hmm.
name and the new locator, and everything gets binned there. From there we do a subunity transfer to the respective locator. So my question is, if we use this, we have some binning rules. You said you'll be looking at the empty locators. You look at the empty locators by looking at whether the locator contains any stock, or whether any default locators are also item is assigned to a locator. How what is an empty locator for you?
No. Okay. And for empty locator in Oracle is like it's completely empty. There is nothing there
Okay,
and
but
not
if
assigned to any item.
okay, not assigned,
So
so it is a mix of both. It is not assigned and also the stock is not available.
yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So if such case, does it take into consideration, for example, see, like we are into automobiles, so we have, let's say, 1,000 location empty, but each
Hmm.
item is may not be suitable for every. For example, a bumper will be having a specific bumper type. We have nuts and bolts and brake pads, so different size volume of item. Does
Hmm.
system takes into consideration on what kind of volume of if we have an item which is having a specific volume, it can suggest a specific locator based on the volume
Yes.
or the number of.
Yes. Yes. We can define that. See, the locators. First of all, you'll have to do two things. Okay. The
Mhm,
locators that you have defined. So you will have its length, breadth, and height also.
mhm,
Okay. So you can define that in Oracle first. Second, at the item level already you can define the volume, length, weight, and height. And then you can
mhm,
write a specific rule so that it accommodates into that particular locator. If it finds a space where it
mhm.
can be stacked in that particular locator, then it system can suggest that particular locator.
Okay, and also if there are multiple quantities going into the same locator, based on it will consider the total volume of the part which is going to the locator, and it can assign a new locator. That also it can do.
Yeah, see, suppose okay, let us say you have bumpers, right? So they are big parts.
Mm-hmm.
So you
Mm-hmm.
will have specific places for them in warehouses. Let us say that they will be on the ground floor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's say bumpers can be stacked one over another. Let's say four pieces. So
Okay.
the system, what it will do is, let us say you have already put one piece in that particular locator for now. So next
Mm-hmm.
time when a bumper arrives in your inventory, okay, it will find that okay, the locator that where bumper is sitting is this, and still it has places for three more according to the dimensions that you have given. So
Mm-hmm.
definitely it will suggest there.
Okay. And we can also have for a new item, and we can also have a priority that I may have a bumper in zone 1, 2, 3, but I want for any new item it should be automatically assigned to zone 2, not the one which is closer to me. So all those can be built in there also within the locator.
See, from the rules engine, we can have that.
Mm-hmm.
We can
Okay.
have
Okay.
that.
Mm.
So that
Right.
is the like flexibility it's offering, right? So you can have anything.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just the matter of writing the correct rules. But you'll have to consider one thing more, that the more stringent you will make the system, like more rules, the more difficult it is for you to run the warehouse,
Yeah.
because it will
Okay.
not allow you to like have flexibility. Every time it will suggest somewhere, you'll have to go there and put away, right? So it's good to have a specific set of rules, but not very specific like to each and every part. So you can have for like for bumpers you can have it, and you can define for bumpers, or and also you have the flexibility of overriding also,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? So
Which we
I
use now.
hope you are aware of that.
Yeah.
Suppose
Yeah. We
you
are
don't
using.
want to put it here, then you can override the put away suggestions.
Yes. Yes. We are using it. Yeah. Okay. That's fine. Yeah.
Okay, so there is this skip task wait minutes. Okay, so this is another important tab. So here, suppose if we enter a value in this skip task wait minutes, so the number mentioned over here is that a task skipped by the user will be held by the system before it is returned to the pending task list. So suppose there is a task that is assigned to a user now, okay, and he has opened that task in his handle device, but he's not performing for 1 minute. Okay, then the system will the screen will close and that task will return back to pending. It will not be held up by that particular user. So the minimum we can keep it 1 or 2 minutes is better. Okay, and I also did little bit query on the pending task question we had in the first session. Okay, so suppose we had a question, right? So suppose we have 4 5 pending tasks and we have 2 resources. So if resources are eligible to perform those pending tasks, okay, the order picking, let us say, and they are defined correctly for order picking task type. So without assigning also, they will once they log into their system, it will be visible on their handle device. So that is
Perfect. So this
possible.
is what we are looking for. Okay.
Yeah, that is possible. And for the notification part also, I checked. The feature still is not there provided by Oracle. The notifications on
Okay.
your handle device.
Okay.
So still it's under I think in enhancement phase. So
Mhm.
not sure when it will come, but it's still not there. Not even in 12.2.11.
Okay. So Rajiv, for this, what probably we were thinking was you can have one screen
Mm-hmm.
with developed, and you can put that in your warehouse where all the pending tasks will be visible on the screen automatically.
See, we have Deepak has prepared already one form
Yeah.
which shows all those. Yeah, similar to that, something like that you are saying, no? Wherein
No, if you already have it, then no, no, no.
no, one of the operation we have just released for orders which are released state. We are showing one form where we are
Okay.
showing it.
Because
We have to
based on
create.
that, your guys will know that there are orders that needs to be worked on, and they can
Mhm.
automatically log into their mobile application. So and pick up the task and perform.
Yeah, but again,
Show the tasks.
there will be yeah, you will be showing this anyway this warehouse control board in detail again, no? Of course, it
Yeah.
is manual. I understand now. Let us see something can be done or used for some purpose, but then without the channel or grouping within the outbound area itself will be very difficult for us because there will be huge orders pending if everything is mixed.
No, no, no. So this will be a custom screen, so we will decide on how to group and how to display.
Okay, you are talking about totally custom screen simulator. Okay, that's
Yeah.
fine. Yeah,
And then we have already discussed this operations outbound operation plan. The cluster picking is also there. The cluster picking is an optional screen. I have never used it. I just know a little bit on that. So let me explain it. So here you can enter the maximum clusters that can be used for cluster picking. So whenever you define the clusters in the system, so this will be the default value that will be seen on the mobile handheld devices whenever they are choosing to use cluster picking. And then you have the operation plan, that is outbound operation plan. So you have the LPN locator and locator and LPN. If LPN based constellation is selected, so all picked materials have to be consolidated together and will be directed to be dropped into the same LPN. Okay.
Anshuman, just
And,
one doubt on the cluster picking. So when you said
mhm,
cluster picking, just want to get an idea. Like, let's say I have two different order branches where I am placing an order. And currently,
mhm.
what we do, we pick it based on move orders. When you say cluster picking, at the time of releasing these orders, the order releasing is done at the same time for multiple orders, so that you can pick it in together, or the how does it work in general?
I'm not very sure about this cluster picking part.
Mm.
If you
Because see,
want me to, like, I will. Yeah.
I'll tell you what is the requirement. See, today, let's say I have two branches. Two branches have
Hmm.
ordered some stock orders of, let's say, 100 items each. Now today, what we
Okay.
do is we send the pickers for picking one guy for one branch, because we are picking it by move orders, and
Hmm.
then the second guy for some. But then the same guy will be moving into two different zones at the same time. uh,
Okay.
if cluster picking has something to do with, like, two orders can be picked at the same time based on the area where they are going, and then it can be done at the time of sorting based on the customers. I just want to get some whether it will be of any use at that stage.
Okay. So I will take a note on this also. Let me do my research today. We can discuss tomorrow.
Yeah, and on that point of Rajesh, Aishman, uh, what Raju you're referring to is something called wave picking.
Yeah, we are
Yeah,
using wave
wave
picking.
picking is there. Yeah, wave
Yeah.
picking is
Yeah.
there. Yes.
So what you're referring to is wave picking, right? Combining so that it is all brought to the staging and then
It's the
can
wave
fit
picking.
by
Okay, okay.
fit
Pick
by
area.
yeah.
Wave
If
picking
we
is
have
very
something.
much there in WMS. We can
Mhm.
use
But I
that.
think that it. So what is cluster picking? Has nothing to do with the wave picking. Huh? This is something else. Huh?
No, no. Yeah, this is different. This is
Okay.
maybe based on the zones. But yeah, let me find out a little bit more. I have not
Okay.
worked on this. Yeah. And then outbound operation plan is like constellation. Again, we are discussing on that. So uh, locator based constellation selected. So all the picked material will be consolidated into one locator. And if locator and LPN is selected, so locator and LPN means the picked material will be consolidated into locators plus constellation LPN suggestions within the constellation locators are also provided. So this is like the basic warehouse org parameter setup. Okay, so let us go through the other important setup screens also that will be specific to WMS. Okay, so we have this shipping parameters that we define here. Okay, so here you can see several fields. So in these fields, if you see, we have the release sequence rule. So all of these are defined separately. The most important part here are your default stage sub inventory and default stage locator. So these are also important for your cross docking also, and sometimes they may impact your pick release process. So uh, this is specific to WMS. Others are the same as inventory and order management. So these things need to be defined. Just make sure that this is correctly defined in the system. Coming to this mobile application architecture, so we are using MSCA or Telnet. So this is a basic overview, like how it's connected. So uh, mostly it's technical. So you have RF device in which the screen will look like this, that is connected to your RF base station, which is via LAN or WAN is connected to your MWS servers, and which is in turn connected to your application database. So I'm trying to show you some of the screens here of Telnet, which are looking the same like in your handheld devices, but in a graphical manner. So this is Telnet screen, little bit raw. So here in Telnet, this is the first one is your login screen. So here you can have your username and password, and you can log in. So good thing is that we can have the barcodes for this also. Most of the warehouses we have seen users will print their barcodes, and they will scan it to log in. Once you log in, then you will be able to see all the assigned mobile responsibilities against this particular username here. The WHSCMGMT, that is warehouse management, is the seeded warehouse management mobile responsibility that is provided by Oracle. And here you have several options, that is inbound, outbound, warehousing, manufacturing, tasks, inquiry, others, and then of course change responsibility. In inbound, you will have PO receipt, RMA receipt, and item based receipt, and ASN receipt. All these things will be there. And of course, we have the put away also. Then in outbound, we have the all the outbound related, like the ship confirm and directed tasks. All these things will come under the outbound section. And in warehousing, you will have the all the stuffs related to warehousing, like supplementary transfer, LPN, pack, unpack, split. All these things will come here, even lot split and merge. And then in manufacturing, all the manufacturing like whip, move, completion, assembly things will come. In tasks, you can have the uh, different types of tasks, screen, system directed tasks. So once we have the screens with us, so it is it will be more fun to use. Inquiry is something very useful while working in warehouse. So you have different types of inquiry. So you have LPN inquiry, locator inquiry, item inquiry. So on the go in the warehouse, just with a scanner, we can have all the inventory report with us whenever we scan an item or LPN or locator specific to that particular parameter that we have provided. Okay. Then if you come to this warehousing, you can see we have inventory. This is a sub menu. Under this also you will have sub transfer and all, and labels. So labels, we have the options to print, reprint labels that are already pre-printed. LPN transactions means LPN pack, unpack, split, and lot transactions means LPN lot split, merge. And update means if you want to update any information related to any LPN or lot, that you can do. And if quality is enabled, so quality check can be used here. Similarly, in bound, you will have receive. In receive, you will have all the, as I explained, PO receipt, RMA, ASN, all these things. Internal shipment receipt can be found here. Item receive means the same receipt, but it will be initiated based on the item. So when is this useful? This is useful when we don't know the correct document number, but we know the item number. So we'll scan the document, scan the item, and then we have the list of values of the eligible POs that are ready to be received, and we can select the correct one and move ahead with item received. The inspector is nothing but the one example where we saw the inspection required was there. So we can have the inspect, go to inspect button, enter the correct LPN number that is eligible for inspection, and move ahead with the inspection transaction. LPN unload is like, suppose you have doing some transaction and you don't want to go with that particular load task, so you will unload the LPN back. And then sometimes also what is happening is the LPN is logged, message will come on your handle devices. So at that time you can use this feature. Return split, return. So return split is I'm not aware of. The return is something related to your returns, like return to vendor and all. In outbound, if you see, we have the packing. So in packing, if it is defined, so it will be all of it will be seen here. Similarly, if you have enabled org transfer, so org transfer can be done from here. Shipping will have all your ship confirm, quick ship and direct ship. And then outbound move, that means if you want to move something to staging, and staging move is also there. Within the staging lanes, if you want to move something from here and there. And drop by location means from one location if you want to drop everything. So that is what will come here. The Manufacturing is the usual manufacturing stuffs like assembly material transactions, serialized assembly material, LPN transaction, and all. Tasks is something important. So you have to go to directed tasks to find the correct task assigned to you. And if you want to manually load or manually drop an LPN, that should be eligible for that. So you can go to this manual tasks. As I told, yeah, and change sign on means you can change the username from which you have signed on, so it will allow you that. Inquiry is you have, as I told you, item, LPN, status, Kanban, constellation, locator. So all these things are going to be helpful in our warehouse day-to-day tasks. At last comes the warehouse control board. So this is something we should discuss in detail for now. So let's get used to with this interface first. So whenever you navigate to this warehouse control board window, so the first tab that you see here is your task tab. So here you will have to first select the source for which you want to data see the task. So if it is a sales order or any outbound task, you'll have to select outbound. If it is related to manufacturing, you'll have to select manufacturing. And if it related to warehousing, like cycle count or any move order task is there, so you'll have to select warehousing. And if it is related to cross dock, so you have to select the cross dock. Once this is done, then you can select the status. So if it is the you can select pending, active, queued, loaded, dispatched. So whenever a task is created against a sales order, we will take an example of sales order. So all the tasks will be in the pending status. Okay. When does it change to queued? So when you go click manage and then assign that task to someone, it will be queued against the task list of that person. That is what is the meaning of queued. When does this change to active? Okay, so active is nothing but, suppose you have assigned some of the tasks to a user, and what is happening is he has opened that task on his handheld device. So at that time the task is in active status. Whenever the task is in active or dispatched status, it cannot be changed back to pending. Okay, so if we want to do that, we'll have to either complete that task or ask the user to close his window or screen on his handle device. Most of the time we hear from users in the warehouse and warehouse managers that the task status is active and I want to assign it to someone else because this particular user is not there. So but how do I do that? So you'll have to ask the user or log in with his username and ask him to close that task which is opened at his end. At that time, once it is closed, then it can be changed to pending. Loaded. In the loaded task, what is happening is this is for the
Sorry,
outbound
Anshuman,
mission.
in the example that you gave, so once the task is assigned to a user, as an admin, I cannot come over here and reassign it to somebody.
No, yeah, see, okay. So if it is queued, okay, the whenever the status is queued, you can assign it. Okay.
Okay, what is queued means it has been
Yeah.
assigned to a person and he
Yeah.
hasn't started work.
Yeah. It is assigned to a person, but he hasn't started his work.
Okay,
So it
so
can
when
be
it's queued,
reassigned
I
to
can
someone.
reassign it.
Yeah, when it is queued, it can be reassigned.
Okay.
But let's say you have assigned these four tasks. Okay, the status is not completed but queued. Now the user logs in his handle device. He opens the first task 60593 953.
Hmm.
The first task status will change to active.
Okay,
Okay, so when it's changed to active, so you can't change it back to queued
got it.
because it is open as his end.
Okay, okay.
Okay, now let us say, yeah, we were discussing about loaded. So we have a load and drop task, the picking task. Okay, so user has currently picked that particular item, that is, he has executed the load task. At that time, the task will be shown as loaded status. So at that time, the only task pending is you'll have to go ahead and drop that particular LPN.
Then it becomes completed.
Then it becomes completed. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
In
Now,
this,
hmm,
sorry, Anshuman. So we
no, no problem.
understand these four statuses very well. One is
Mhm.
pending. That means as soon as a task is created, it goes to pending status.
Pending
As soon as I
status. Yes.
assign it, it goes to queued status.
Mhm.
Then once it's loaded,
when he is
if it's
open
working,
that
it becomes active,
is
and then
Yeah.
loaded and then completed.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there is another one that you will see. It is called as dispatch tasks. Okay. So most of the times, again in warehouses, you can hear complaining from warehouse managers that I see some of the tasks are dispatched. It is assigned to, let's say, one user. I never assigned it to that particular user. How come it is seen dispatched to that particular user? So what is happening is, let us say you have four tasks. Okay, user, you have assigned the first task to user one. So user one is task is queued now. Okay, now user one opens task first in his handle device. So the task one status will change to active, and other three tasks which are not assigned to anybody else, the status will change to dispatched against the same person.
Oh, why is that so?
Yeah, it is because to see, you system understand that there is no other person who is currently going to do this transaction. So because you can see four tasks on your screen, but you assign only one to that particular user. So user system understand that the user one is only going to go ahead and complete the four tasks.
So ideally, does it get assigned to him or it is just dispatched?
It is dispatched to him, and suppose he completes the first task, the next task will be visible to him, task 2, task 3, task 4, like that.
Okay.
Okay. Now suppose you don't want him to do the transaction. Okay, you want to assign it to someone else. So how will you do that? So again, you will have to ask him to close the first active task. Okay, and then reassign the three to other persons, and then assign it to him. At that time, like
Oh,
it will be possible. And once they complete the transaction, it will change to completed.
okay.
And then these are the filters, right? So if you want to search by item, you can enter the item number. If you want to find a specific item task, so you can search by item. And then if you enter the in outbound tab, you can enter the move order number or sales order number, and then by that also you will be able to find that. Okay, so this is mostly the things that we are using in warehouse control board. Okay.
What is that unreleased judgment?
Okay, so unreleased is nothing but there are some tasks that are like not yet released. Okay, but system is expecting them to be released. It can be mostly in outbound. Okay, whenever they are expecting any receipts, so there can be some put away tasks that you are planning. So at that time they will be in unreleased status. In outbound, I have never seen any unreleased tasks as of now. It's exactly in pending status only. Until it is released, it will be in pending. In
Can
yeah,
it be a sales order with the book status, which is not released?
it will not come unless it's released.
no, no.
Then
Until unless it is released, the sales order task will not be visible over here.
So you have to release it, then only it will come.
Yeah, yes. See, task means on a outbound task is what you are picking from some locator and dropping in, like staging it. So until unless allocations are done, system is not going to get from where it needs to be picked and from where it needs to be dropped. So once allocations are done, then system is clear. Okay, you need to pick it from here and drop it there. The task gets created.
This is applicable for the your warehousing things. Might be.
Maybe manufacturing task.
Replenishment or anything. Okay.
Manufacturing task maybe.
Because,
Release or
because all these are the other and that one is a different.
yes,
First one. Yeah, manufacturing is.
unreleased task.
Hmm.
Then there is one tab at the bottom, right? Exceptions tab, if you see here. So when like mostly it does not have any content if you will go ahead in warehouse and click it. But whenever you have some exceptions while picking, okay, like you want to do short picking, right? So if you have enabled short picking in your warehouse, so at that time the exceptions will be visible over here against that sales order at one place.
Hmm.
So all the exceptions like that can be visible over here.
No.
Yeah.
Rajiv, to the one we were discussing the other way, I mean, sometime back, on the right
Mhm.
hand side, you see that screen, right, which is the warehouse control board based on the search parameters that you had, based on the check boxes, right? So, along with this, we can have few more filters like your order type or whatever. So, based on that, we will only display the essential tasks. So, the outbound pickers, however, or the inbound pickers will know that these are the tasks pending and they'll go on the WMS and pick up the first task and process it
Yeah, we'll have to
only.
think of something similar to that. Yeah, yeah, understood. And Anshuman, now in this warehouse control board, see there we have two aims for looking into this option, because one is that to look at the task and how to assign it and the other stuff. Second is to find out the productivity of these staff who are there. The productivity comes part of this, or it isn't part of some labor management. It is. Is this, does this control show any productivity related stuff?
No, it does not show anything. It just helps you to manage your tasks, assign them
Mhm.
to users or unassign from them.
But maybe Oracle labor management or something else is there where this productivity is available.
LMS, like labor management system, I guess it would help in that.
So Veros control board is just to look at the to control the flows only, right? Just to assign and to see what is pending and other stuff only.
Hmm. See, yeah, right. So here, like suppose for a sales order, you have four tasks. So you can like log in and check how many lines are already picked, already staged, right? So if you like here, I have clicked suppose completed. I can see all the completed tasks over here. So in yeah, the flows only can be checked here, and not labor productivity can be checked here. That is not possible.
Not even operation wise, like for inbound, what is the productivity for the day? Nothing related to that. No
Uh,
summary.
see, see that you can check in the material transaction window. Okay, at the end of the day, you can go to material transaction and check. There are also a lot of filters, and you can check how many items have been received. Okay, you can
Okay.
select the source type and all. So that you can check from there.
But
Yeah, that
don't
is
we
not.
have labor management? Because it should be a standard, what to say, display, no, from labor management.
Mm.
Can you check
No.
on that? Because see, yeah, task management is there, but as I said, task management plus labor management, their productivity, efficiency. Because if going back to your that first slide, if everything is linked, you should be able to
Mm.
see.
Okay, let me again check on that today itself.
Yeah, LMS mainly, yeah, labor management. That is something that we want to
Yeah, so
understand.
it's how it's associated, integrated with this task management. That is what we
Yeah,
want to check.
because you were showing that it is integrated. What you're
Mhm.
explaining that it is integrated, but how? What is the performance? That is what we want to say now.
See, like what I was saying is not with respect to labor management, okay, but whenever you have resources that are defined in Oracle. Okay, and these resources will be under some departments. Okay, like you have the order picking department or hazardous material department, and the task is associated to these departments first, and then the eligible resources in that department are eligible to get this task. So that is how this task management is going to help. But labor management, I guess, is something else. So we'll have to check on that, how it's integrated with our WMS and task management system, and how efficiently it can be used.
Okay. Can you please check because labor management is standard functionality in most
Mhm.
of the WMS.
Okay.
So yeah, want to understand how it is in
Okay.
Oracle.
Okay. Sure. Sure. I will check that.